You are not listening to the voice of IWA Flip here on Uncensored Radio. In studio, the gold motherfucking standard, Melvin Mayhem. Welcome to the first edition of WWL Unhinged. My special guest for this inaugural episode, the one, the only, the historic Michael Giuliano. Michael, you there?
I am. Thank you very much for having me.
How's it going, Michael? How you been?
It's going well. The dynasty is heading in the right direction, as you are fully aware of.
Oh, there's no denying that. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. If anyone doesn't know what's going on at this point, then I don't know what they're doing in the league. You guys have been on a streak, so to speak. So kudos to you for
Yeah,
doing putting.
they need to get out of the from underneath the rocks, man. They got to get out.
Come up from some air and find out what's going on.
Melvin doesn't sign these heavy duty contracts for anybody. Believe me.
I'm not gonna waste my money for nothing. But so just for the people at home listening to this show, the way this works is this is gonna be basically centered around a Q&A style. I'm gonna ask you about 10 questions. All of them relevant to what's going on with your stable, just to give the listeners more feedback on what's going on, get them up to date in case they haven't been paying attention. Hopefully they are, but you never know.
Shoot away, no holds barred.
This is more to fill in those gaps. So I'm gonna start right away. First question, I gotta lay it on you. What are your thoughts on the unrestricted direction the WWL has now found itself in?
You mean fucking uncensored?
Yes,
That's where we are now, the uncensored era of the WWL. It is, I think, much like in life, many times it shows itself. It's a great strength, but also it can be a risk.
Mm-hmm.
I say that as you have a lot of managers who are very calculating, and you can use this outlet of freedom you're giving people. And they're taking advantage of it and taking their characters, taking their wrestlers, their promos to a whole nother level of intensity. Then you have some people who can't walk and chew gum at the same time. And you give them this freedom. It's like putting a grenade in a 2-year-old's hand. They just don't know what to do with it. And sometimes that could be suicidal. So it's making for some very entertaining WWL television, to say the least.
Oh yeah, absolutely. As you know, sometimes you got to take those risks because without risk, there's no reward.
The no reward, and the dynasty definitely knows about risk and reward.
Oh,
and soon there's going to be a lot of risk involved, but I'll get to that a little bit later.
absolutely, absolutely. So going on to the next question, we're just gonna keep these questions going. This past cycle, the leader of the Agents of Endgame, a man you know very well, the impassive Knave.
Yes.
He requested a match personally with me. He wants Lord Larius to face Giuliano in not just any match at the pay-per-view, but an asylum match at the pay-per-view. What are your thoughts on this request, and what do you feel you're gonna bring to the table when you step into that asylum match with Lord Larius?
Well, first let's get let's get that out of the way. I accept, of course. Let's see. The asylum match is going to be obviously a very hostile environment. But one I'm not unfamiliar with. Let's just say, as you very well know, this ain't our first rodeo.
Exactly.
I know fully what to expect from the agents. Probably, and not even probably. It's fairly certain to say that they are the toughest men the dynasty have ever come across in all our rivalries. So I know what I'm getting myself into when I sign that contract and accept, and that's half the battle. And hopefully for his sake and the agent's sake, they know what they're getting themselves into making this challenge, because I won't be coming alone, as you very well know.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of not coming alone, I'll get into question number 3. Perfect segue. Endgame and Dynasty feud has been rekindled. It's official. And
Yes.
obviously for anyone that doesn't know or wasn't around during the New Blood era, these two factions any history, but very storied history.
Yeah, no pun intended. We definitely have a historic history. Yes.
Yes. Care to shed some light on that from your perspective?
Well, I would say for almost 2 years, the agents in the dynasty tore the house down in the NBL. There's a man by the name of the Silver Bullet, who is not under contract at the WWL at the moment, and he probably had the rivalry of the year with one of the agents.
That was Triple King.
Yes,
I have to agree.
it had to be the feud of the year.
Yes,
Um, and it wasn't just them; they were the feature feud, but literally interchangeable tag teams, 6-man combos. We did it all. We tore the house down every night. Didn't matter what town we were in. We tore the house down, and it's exciting to go into the next chapter in the WWL and see what kind of magic we can make here, especially in an era where there's literally no boundaries, no rules, completely uncensored, and it'll allow both of our, I think both of the story to evolve to a whole nother level.
absolutely. I 100% agree. I'm actually eager to see how this plays out now that there's no restrictions and there's no telling what can happen. That's coming from both stables.
Yeah,
So
when you're no longer handcuffed by certain things, it allows you just to go to places you never thought were possible now.
absolutely. Well, I for one am definitely looking forward to that. So let's see exactly where that feud takes us. But going into question number four. Again, I want to keep this show going. I don't want people at home to sit for 1 hour shows. I want these to be nice and quick, to the point. So I'm gonna jump right into it.
Okay.
Extreme Survivor has now become
Yes.
number one contender for the Wicked Wayward title. He will be facing Big Daddy Johnson at Viral Violence. What's your take on this match? And do you think Extreme is gonna walk away as the new Wayward champion?
Do I think? It's not even think. It's a no. It's an inevitable. The extreme survivor has shown not only why he's iconic and why we call him an icon. The man is on a roll. He is not only beating people, he's crippling men. He's putting them in hospitals. He's injuring, and soon he will be killing careers. And you again, you will soon find out what I'm alluding to in
Oh,
the
I
very
know.
near future. You know,
I think
but
I know.
I think if you are one of the few people that know, but it will not be a pretty sight. Big Daddy has never come across a man of this caliber before, and although the title is almost secondary to Extreme, it is the pain and suffering he wants to inflict, and who Big Daddy represents is what's more important here. But again, that's all to come. There's so much more to come. It's just the beginning, Melvin. Just the beginning.
I like it.
Extreme is just starting his massacre on the WWL.
Oh my, you heard it here first. You've heard it exclusively here. And I think the name of that title would fit him perfectly, the Wicked Wayward, because
Wicked.
the wicked side of him is definitely starting to come to light. So
He's a very disturbing man, and I have to say, there's a part of me that enjoys what I'm saying.
absolutely. And speaking of crippling certain opponents, this last cycle, it looks like Goat Killer signed a match under the big top in a pit match against Extreme Survivor. I'm not sure what he was thinking. I know his initial intentions were to go after his big brother, Survivor, but instead, since I believe Survivor was going through his own stuff at the time, he decided to try his luck with Extreme, and that didn't turn out too well for him, did it?
No, not at all. He when we first saw him debut, this goat killer, well, greatest of all time killer, was laughable to begin with. But we thought he was joking. We didn't think this guy actually put pen to paper and sign his own death certificate and have a suicidal match. Are you like you're just asking, for the outcome? So you can't feel sorry for a man like that. We put him Extreme did him the favor, putting him out of his misery. Hopefully, we all can move on. They could go back to the hack job lower mid card, and we could go back to main eventing pay per views. And
And just so you guys know, for the viewers out there listening to this, I have no say in what happens in the big top matches. Those are not sanctioned by me. These are completely part of the new carnival setup. And that's the luchadores. Remember, they came. For those of you who don't know what's been going on, just to touch on it quickly, Dark Carnival got whisked away. I believe a portal opened up and took them away from Wicked City. No one knows where they are. And apparently the luchadores came in. They saw the tent was available. They took it over and they started their own carnival. So now it's murder under the big top. They're signing the matches. They decided it was a great idea to put Go Killer against Extreme. I don't know what they were smoking, but I doubt they'll ever sign that match again.
Wait, can does Shane Cole provide
Oh
the
God.
circus act for them?
Speaking of Shane, this was a question I didn't put out there, but apparently we do have some new members joining the WWL.
Oh,
I'm not
no,
sure. I believe you
don't.
caught wind of
Please,
it.
please don't.
Please don't. Okay,
Please don't. Please
I'll leave that for another
spare me
episode.
the next 5 minutes of my life. Please, master.
I'll leave that for another
I
episode.
already when I'm listening to these promos, I lose 5 minutes of my life every time. It's horrible. I'm tired of losing minutes off my life. He's never going to get back to me.
Question number 6.
Shoot. I had
Right,
to
so
get that
let's
off my chest. You told me uncensored. I'm going to give you fucking uncensored.
that's the beauty. Again, that's the beauty of this show, guys. That's the whole point of this. Let loose. Say what you gotta say. Entertainment purposes only. You can't take the heat. The fuck out
Get
the
out of the fucking shit.
get out of the fucking league. But so yeah, moving on to the next question. This is actually the topic I'm really most interested in. Denise finally gets her shot
The
for the
queen.
Extreme title against Miss Eva Danger, 1-on-1. Tell me about this match. What do you think is going to happen? Obviously, Miss Eva Danger, she's a champion for a reason. But if there's anyone, as far as in my personal opinion, that I think can give it to her, give her the business, and walk away with that title, it's the Black Widow, Denise Destiny.
Thank you, Melvin. You have to. Was there really any doubt in your mind that this was not the pinnacle point at the end? That she was going to work her way as soon as she debuted. I promised you she would go straight to the top and get the Goddess Championship. It did. It took a little more time we thought, but she's definitely shown both inside and outside the ring. She deserves this spot, despite what some of these ladies, or so maybe I'm using that word loosely here. Some of these women, you know, say about my girl, the Queen here. But the Black Widow, I have full confidence that she will prove to everyone why she was the greatest women's champion of all time in the NBL, and why now she's the undisputed number one contender. And I believe it's only a matter of time before she is the Goddess Women's World Champion.
Absolutely. And just to piggyback on that, I just want to put this out there. One thing that I respect the most about Denise is that while there are a lot of other female wrestlers on the roster that, they could talk a good game, some of them pretty much they voice their displeasure on certain, circumstances or choices that are being made. But if you ask me, when all is said and done, Denise is putting in the work. She's there every cycle. She's signing the matches. She's entering battle royals. She's winning titles. She's backing it up. And because of that alone, aside from the tracker is what got her here. But it's the fact that she's putting in the work to get it to that point. And there's no other woman more deserving than Denise Destiny in this match. So kudos to her. She's doing amazing. I knew she would from day one, and she has not let me down since I let her sign that contract. So
she's an example of what hard work will get you.
Absolutely. And again,
sometimes they say lucky and good. She's a little bit of both, and she's got she's got that I call the it factor.
Oh yeah.
And not everyone's got it.
Definitely, I have to agree. Especially in the war room, she's easily riling up everybody. Usually, correct me if I'm wrong. Usually, it's the champion that's the one that's being targeted the most. But in this case, it's the challenger that's the most hated and the one everybody
by far. Oh yes, by far, she's the star of the war room. The hate is it is contagious, unreal. It is.
But that's what you wanted. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what Denise thrives on. She thrives on
they feed it to her. If you see her promo, with every hate comment, she gets better. She goes out and delivers and just kills them. These women crawl back into their hole. You don't even hear from them, and they go after someone else. I'm looking recently in the war room. I don't hear no one dropping Denise's name. Eva, I'm fucking hearing crickets. I don't know where Eva went. I don't even know she's going to show up at the pay-per-view.
Well,
You
she
know,
is injured, but again, me and Flip touched on this in the first episode that it doesn't matter if she's crippled or not. She's gonna be in that match, even if we have to airdrop her ass into the ring to fight Denise. She is gonna be in that match. So crippled or not, she
okay,
better be ready for the fight of her life.
damn right.
So now, speaking of fighting for their life and making an impact, the Brothers of Destruction, Fire and Ice.
Yes, that's right. They are back better than ever.
Yeah, they've been clawing their way back up. They finally started making a nice impact, getting some belts, heating it up, as they say. So, I like your thoughts on what you feel their actions have been recently, and as far as how good they are, and do you think that they can be better in the coming cycles?
I think the WWL division, especially the single division, takes for granted how good these men are individually
I
because
agree.
they've been promoted and they are hyped up to be. They are one of the greatest tag teams and ever. Like the accomplishments. We could go on for. I could use
Oh,
the
yeah,
30
we
minutes
need a
just to
whole
talk
separate
about what
podcast
they've
for that one.
done. Exactly. We're doing short fire responses here. So they are you're starting to realize how good these men are individually. These men can beat either one of them can beat any champion the WWL has. They can win any title any given cycle, and soon they're going to make even bigger waves in the tag team division. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see another series challenge coming someone's way, and things are definitely going to start heating up with the twin brothers of destruction. But definitely nobody should be taking them lightly in the singles department. And I think after the last couple cycles, nobody will.
Yeah, they definitely will. Again, they're backing it up. They're winning the belt. There's no denying just how good they are. So if anybody was taking them for granted prior to these last few cycles, I'm pretty sure they changed their tune recently and they see what these guys are capable of. Especially anyone that was privy to the ECL days. These guys were amazing, and they're showing it again here and reminding everybody just how good they can be, not only in tag team, like you say, but as well as in singles competition. So kudos to Fire and Ice. They're definitely bringing the thunder to the rest of the division. So now, here's my surprise question. I'm gonna have one of these for every show, and just for anyone listening, no one. This is an exclusive announcement. Giuliano is the first to hear of this, so I want to get his feedback on this. So
Okay.
historic one. The news is this: at Viral Violence, I am going to be introducing the final two Mayhem titles. This has not been
Really?
spoken about at all. I have not mentioned a single word of this, but I have decided to not only create a brand new women's six-man tag team title, which will be called the Viral Vixens titles, but I am also reinstating the Unholy Trinity six-man championships. What are your thoughts?
Well, this definitely affects the dynasty's decision making going forward because, as you know, I'm part of a 6-man team. We have a huge fifth and deciding series match coming.
Mhm.
So hopefully we get past the Stonewall Brothers, and then from there, I think we'll go after those Trinity World 6-man titles.
Nice. Well, I am, just so you guys know, listening out there, I'm pretty sure there's some excitement going on because there have been talks about getting the six-man belts in, an active. I wanted to wait to see because the tag team division has been the most, active. Six-man, not so much, but recently it's starting to pick up. So I figure, you know what, this is the perfect time to introduce these titles, especially a title as prestigious as the Unholy Trinity titles. For anyone that was in the New Blood League, those titles were the biggest, one of the biggest Mayhem titles ever that existed. And at one point, the Agents of Sin game actually held those titles, I believe, 7 consecutive pay-per-views. So they kind of brung the level up, prestige for those belts. So to bring them back here, see, maybe it's the Dynasty, maybe it's the Stonewalls, maybe it's the Flamingo Brothers. It could be, Annihilation Inc. There's so many good six-man teams out there. I'm just eager to see who's going to be the first ones to hoist those titles up here in the Wicked Wars League.
So Mel, are we thinking tournament here, or do you have other plans in
This
mind?
is gonna be a tournament. These two titles are gonna be up for grabs at the pay-per-view. So
Oh,
this is
so
this is
we're
the
crowning new
surprise.
champion. You're
Oh
not just
yeah,
introducing. You're
at Viral
crowning new
Violence,
champions.
there will be 8 Mayhem champions walking out on that night. So yes, I already know who are going to be in those matches. I'm just not saying who it is. This is going to be a surprise announcement. It's going to be in the report this cycle. So if you guys are eager to find out who's going to be challenging for those belts, you're going to find out this cycle. So now moving on.
After you drop that little piece
Yeah,
of
yeah,
knowledge.
kind of changes a lot of things. So now, I wanted to get your thoughts on this. Is an important question for me moving forward because I
Yeah.
definitely want to ask this to all of the managers that are on the show moving forward. As far as fresh talent, and I do have some new managers that are going to start coming into the league in the next few cycles as well. What would you say to them, knowing that they're coming into a league that really is unlike any other league that's ever existed in the IWA in terms of the unrestricted era, in terms of being able to say and do whatever it is they feel like doing? Obviously, this is something that's never been done. You know, as you know very well, the IWA loves to censor pretty much anything that they can for
Yeah.
whatever reasons they have. But, to be a part of a league like this, where they have pretty much creative freedom and to be themselves and creative, 100% creative control. You know, what would you say to these newer members that are going to be joining the league?
So a little advice if I give them. If number one, if you're gonna sign that dotted line, make sure you have thick skin. If you know you're thin skinned, insecure, and you can't take it, you got to find another league. It's not the league. There's other good leagues out there, but this ain't the one for you. So that's number one. Number two, I think you have to use some be prepared. You have no idea the world you're entering. You have to be ready for you have to be willing to take anything and be willing to go anywhere. It's a totally different dynamic. So you have to open your mind. I think you have to take more risks in this type of league. Um, so I think you have to be very calculating and you have to prepare yourself because it's not for everyone. I think that's the most important thing advice I could give everyone. It
I
is
agree.
just don't feel bad. If you're get eaten up alive, then just, find another league. It's not gonna be for everyone. So I
It's
think
either that or fight back.
exactly. It's adapt or perish in this league, and you have to do it quickly because people are perishing by the cycle. There are hack jobs that are completely being dwindled. Are you listening, Shane? But listen, all I'm gonna say is you need to be it's a very calculated risk even entering the WWL because it's so elite and it is so innovative that you really have to prepare yourself for experience like you've never had before in the IWA.
Absolutely. Well said. And I have to agree 100%. Again, for any new wrestlers joining the league, again, if you're listening to this, that means that I allowed you to enter the league and you're finally getting a taste of what this league is going to be like. But you definitely have to have, like
Oh,
Giuliano said, thick
and
skin, number one.
and I'm sorry, Melvin,
Go
but
for it.
for God's sakes, if you want to join the WWL, have a couple ounces of originality in your body. Just a couple, I'm asking.
That's sad.
Not a lot, just a few ounces. You want to be comedic and go a little unreal, that's fine. But be original. Don't be a fraud. That's all I ask of you for you potential newcomers. Don't be a
Originality.
fraud.
I
Thank you. And
got
good
it.
night, WWL.
Now, with that, any final thoughts for the listening audience? Anything you want to end this interview on?
Just know the dynasty has just begun. It is. I promise we make an impact. We've done that, but I feel we got to take it to another level. And I believe with the rekindling feud with the agents, I think both stables would agree. I think we'll take each other to the next level, and I think it's going to be a good year in 2019.
Absolutely. I'm actually looking forward to this year more than any other year since I've been in the IWA. So it's going to be interesting to see how the league plays out. I'm glad everything is coming full circle now. The pay-per-view is looking like it's going to be a spectacular night with all the titles being announced, especially the two new titles that I just announced for the listeners out there. Again, if you missed it, I am reintroducing the Unholy Trinity six-man titles, and I will be introducing the first female six-man titles as well, and they will be defended at Viral Violence. So all 8 titles will be up for grabs on that night. And it's going to be interesting to see who's going to want it, who wants it the most, who wants that brass ring, and who's going to run with it. And again, if you're listening to this, means you're in the league, you've committed to this league. You're going to abide by these rules where rule number one, I've been saying it from day one, there is no WWL. So keep this to yourself. This is only for us, for our entertainment. If anyone asks you about the WWL, have them go through myself, have them go through Flip, and we'll take the measures to get you into the league. But as long as you're in here, just keep it between us. Let's not fuck this up because again, this is the only league like this in the entire IWA, and it's something special. And I want to thank all the managers that are part of this now because this was my vision from day one when I started the WWL. So to managers like yourself, Michael, thank you so much for being a part of this. Especially
Thank
from
you.
day one. You've been there from day one, and that to me, that's an honor to have you in this league. I know you're exclusive to this league. I'm pretty sure you're going to expand eventually, but for you to take the plunge into the Wicked Wars League on your comeback says a lot to me. It shows a lot of your commitment to this. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Only place I like to ever be, man.
Absolutely. So again, to all the listeners out there, thank you. You've been tuning in to the first ever WWL Unhinged episode. This is the gold motherfucking standard, Commissioner Melvin Mayhem, along with my guest, the historic Michael Giuliano. Saying peace, and until next episode.
Good night.
Good night, guys.